Okay guys, we're at the end of term 3 and we are recording That's a Wrap, just to reflect on everything that happened, everything we learned, all the cool stories. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm here with the students. Yeah, cool. Let's get into it. So term 3 was actually one of the longest terms that you guys have had. And if you go and look back at the curriculum, it was jam-packed. So we actually started off, how crazy is this, with having a team from Josh Jen come and minister here with us, with Milani Detoy and the team that came with. Do you guys just want to talk briefly about what that morning was like having a team come and really just come in, envision us, prophesy over us, pray over us? Yeah, anyone want to comment on that?
I think the time was absolutely incredible. Just being a media school, I think we're so blessed with having the church around us as well. And yeah, we each had a time where we got 10 minutes each of the whole team prophesying over us and just speaking over our lives, giving input. And I think for all of us can say, like, we left there so moved. We also had a worship time with them. Yeah, so it's just so cool having people come in to our space and like be with us.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I think also it was such a awesome time, honestly. Like before we even have the team to come to us, we have first start off with a worship session with the staff members and some of the other people. And then after then we have our own worship time, which was so powerful, the spirit really just move. And then after that we split in boys and girls teams, and then we have few people just prophesy of our lives. So that was such a blessing,
Nice. And then, I don't know if you guys remember that we moved the digs, which was hardcore. So basically we had another student house that some of the guys were staying on, and we recently were able to purchase our own student house through Oxygen Life Church. So awesome, so exciting. So now we have a student house that is shared between our 2 gap year programs, Altitude Ministry Team and then Radio Fire. And so the one day we played lots of music, we got some trailers, we got some Boerewors rolls, and we moved the house. Anyone want to quickly comment on that day? Are you still tired from that day? Maybe, so Keaton and Letu actually stay in the student house. How has it been for you guys, just in a sense, moving into something that is now like ours? It's our property, our space. Yeah, how's that been for you guys?
I think moving from the old digs to completely new house, it was a very sweet moment because we created already memories in the old house. So it was kind of sad leaving the old house, but at the same time also exciting for the new chapter. So it was quite cool. The new house definitely feel more in a sense more a house in a sense, and more as a family connected. So I really enjoy the new house, but there's also features that I do like about the old house. But yeah, it's been great, definitely.
Nice. Later?
I think for me, moving from the old house to the new house, this feels like more of a home rather than the old house. I think here we're actually brought closer compared to the old house. It's even with us guys in the one room, we're brought closer. I feel connections are becoming closer and closer because of the space. And I don't know, I feel much better and much comfortable at this place than the old digs because it feels more of a home.
That's amazing, guys. In this term, we also did graphic design with Laura Hart. It was really, really amazing. And through that, Laura came and she lectured design concepts. And then the students actually stepped into a project that is iconic at Radio Fire called the 100 Logo Challenge, where the students have to hand draw 100 logos. So there's probably some mixed reviews on this couch. When you hear 100 Logo Challenge, sometimes people tremble with fear. Amber, do you want to talk to us about how that was for you?
It was cool, learning or seeing different aspects to the one logo. It was one logo can turn into so many different things, and you would never picture or imagine that. And it was cool. A new brand name came out of it as well. Shout out Open Air Studio. Yeah, so it was cool discovering that and seeing, playing and putting aspects of my life into it, and just seeing it all come together was really cool.
Nice. That was cool. So then thinking about your guys graphic design, what did you guys enjoy about that week with Laura?
I think something we can all agree on is just coming up with new ideas for the logo and not only repeating the same thing, but like trying to get inspiration from like different websites and different stuff online to see how you could better the design of a logo.
Yeah, nice. That was cool. And we made some really cool stuff. So then as you guys did the logo challenge, Emilia came and lectured Illustrator. Crazy how much we did in this term. But how was Illustrator for you guys? And then how was it digitizing the logo that you hand drew? Luke, do you want to chat?
I thought it was cool. It was definitely interesting, like learning a new program, and like also exciting to put like the idea you hand drew like and making it digital, making it something you could send on WhatsApp, and yeah, seeing how like the process of your idea like coming to life. Yeah, that was really exciting.
Nice. Awesome, guys. Okay, well, thanks for talking to us about graphic design. Let's get on to the next, guys. Okay, next panel. You guys ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into it. So you guys aren't going to be speaking about the graphic design kind of thing. I want to talk to you guys about story. Okay, sorry, we're not talking about project dynamics. A lot of lessons we learned this term, guys. Let's just say that, and we're going to get into them a bit later. But so we're going to talk about story structure. So one thing that we focused a lot on this term was how to come up with a fictional story, actually. So previously we had done like documentaries, we had done things that already exist. But this was the term that we had to ideate. So we had to come up with our own stories, our own ideas, and then actually put them into a structure that would make sense. So we were doing 3-act structures and the beat sheet. Do you guys want to talk about that? How was it coming up with your very own story and then watching it come from a point A to a point B and then all the way to the end?
Yeah, I think it was cool just looking at the beat sheet, what we learned, and how every like movie and story follows that, you know. And it's like crazy to think that it's like it's very systematic, you know. And so if we follow that then our stories came to life, you know, and it was really sick.
Yeah, and I think it's so funny, like after we did that, Michael and I, we were watching like a movie, and then it's so cool to see like they're doing this and that like in the movies, and I think your perspective of movies also like change a bit, which is quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, just ruin movies for us, Jerry.
Red movies.
Yeah, high key.
Just like it was like so great to see how like we can just write stories, and like with what you gave us with the pitch sheet, and we can just like we can follow that, and like what Molly said, we can see them stories actually come to life. So it was kind of cool. Felt like I'm a writer, and yeah.
That's cool. So then you guys came up with your idea. You plotted your story points to the beat sheet and a 3-act structure. And then after that, you actually had to write the script. But was it fun, guys, to like flesh something out and then actually have like a printed script? Like, remember, we printed your scripts, and like to see something that you wrote like come alive. Like, how did that make you guys feel? Like, was it encouraging that you could write stories that could like other people could read and enjoy and be changed by?
Yeah, I know how to do it now. Cool. So if I want to do it, then I know what to do.
Yes.
It's not like when before I came to Radiant Fire and I was like, okay, cool, I'm just gonna write something that comes in my head and then I'm gonna write lines. But now there's more planning into it. There's more intentionality that comes to it. So it's like, cool. This is what I need. This is a bit sheet that I need. And it's been cool. Yeah.
What we did then, guys, we took your script and then we learned how to direct, right? So we did things like script breakdowns, and we made it very practical. So that's, taking something that can be quite like elusive and like up in the air, and then making it very achievable and practical, So we took it and then we learned how to block scenes, how to direct actors. How was that process for you guys? Was it quite cool to see like the script that you wrote like come alive in a real sense?
No, definitely. I think like we even went in the base and we're just like practicing like filming the shots that we had like wrote. So that was like to see it come to life on screen was actually like a cool transfer, from what we had written.
Yeah. And then maybe just jumping ahead a little bit. So then you guys then eventually made movies, right? So you got into groups and then you, as your final project of the term, one of the big ones, you guys then got to choose the script that you all enjoyed, you know, and then actually make the movie. Like, I'm keen just to hear your experiences, because I think you guys feel maybe it was tough, but I think there is stuff here to talk about and to like learn. So maybe, do you guys want to talk about the realities of like taking a script to screen, and how did that feel? Like, what did you guys have to like overcome, you know? And what did you learn? Maybe even in your own like heart.
For me, I guess just seeing Molly do it. Yeah, he directed very well. But also like even thinking like when he got sick, there was a time he just had like a pain in his stomach.
Can I quickly add on that?
Yeah.
I got a phone call from Molly, and he's like, Joe, I'm gonna throw up. And I was like, what? He's like, but it's fine. I'm lying in the car. I think I can do it.
That was him.
So then I was like, what? And then he literally got up and then carried on directing. The next day, I'm like, Molly, what happened? He's like, I don't know what happened, bro. I think I got like food poisoning or something. Like, Joe, hardcore.
And just like him, and then like in that short time where he was still in the car, I was like, okay, cool, Tando, you got this, bro. I'm like, do I really got this? Like, he's been doing it very well. Like, okay, cool. Then when I went there and I just told the guys what to do, and he pulled up, and I was like, oh, Molly, thank you, Lord. And then he continued with like directing, and then I just stick to what I do. Yeah, it was very fun, and just like even when you plan something before, and then there's like what is it, like obstacles that come during that, unplanned obstacles. It was very like it was very challenging, and just seeing like people said yes, and now it's like a no, and now it's like nothing is confirmed, and I was like, oh wow, okay, cool. So what's the next step? How are we gonna solve this? And you have to make phone calls and do all that, and yeah, it went very well. Like yeah, it was like life steps, like life building moments.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
great. Even like, you know, when stuff falls through and you have to now make a plan, did it feel like you guys matured in terms of your like even your producing skills, you know? Like having to endure through the noise and like pursue the dream of the project, you know? Do you guys feel like in a sense like stronger that you came through that?
Yeah,
I feel that way.
I think even just looking at the admin side of things before we had to start shooting, like that was a little bit overwhelming. Just trying to like make a shooting schedule, trying to organize everything. But then as soon as we got into it, it actually things just fell into place because we did that, you know. And just learning how to do that was really cool.
Nice. And then, like, you guys, obviously you're giggling and stuff because it was a really tough challenge, you know? It really was. It was a tough challenge all around. And you guys bit off a lot of story. But yeah, what are the dynamics like? Maybe, like, what did you learn from the process that you'll never forget?
Like, okay, I think for... Yo, it was rough.
That's okay. That's why we're here.
Loki almost left me. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I think I definitely like got like besides just media skills, I definitely learned a lot of life lessons. And like just like thinking about like me going into the workspace, like sometimes things aren't always going to be perfect. And I think through this challenge, I definitely helped like manage my frustrations and not like necessarily like just vent it out on people, but learn how to deal with it in a better way, even when things aren't going my way or when things aren't necessarily like being fair. I think I definitely learned how to manage that in a better way than I did before, because I definitely would say at the beginning of the year I wouldn't have reacted the way I did. And then I think just in terms of like media, I learned a lot. Like as we were filming, we were just learning so much, and our project, it isn't the best, but I think that this is the project I've learned the most from because of the amount of things that I've seen that I've done wrong, and that I went back and was like, okay, cool, this is better. I mean, I know I was in a group with Luke, and after like the first day of filming, we didn't get the lighting right, but then he watched YouTube videos, and then the next time we filmed it was better. So it's like things like that. So it definitely wasn't like the most perfect project, but it definitely had a lot of value.
Cool. Nice. Thurston?
And I think it's just like the Lord kind of like, if there's something like bad, like whatever, like inside of you, and you try and brush it away, it's like the Lord's gonna like do everything, even if it's like a project, to kind of like bring it out of you. And I think I'm like very much like a shallow coper, where I just brush things off all the time. But it's like the Lord just using different things and different, like sometimes like flip, like how is this thing like triggering me? I'm like, it's like so silly, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just like the Lord just kind of like pressing on it, and it's like, it's gonna come out.
Yeah.
And I think, it's just that thing of like if the Lord's pointing his finger on something and he wants it to grow, like be obedient, or yeah. It's not going to look too pretty, and you might also hurt other people in the process,
Yeah, so that's really awesome because, guys, like these projects, Ready and Fire is about obviously growing in the technical skills, but it's also about growing in our character, and how are we dealing with pressure, like pressure situations. And this was a pressure situation. Yeah. There was a deadline, there was a lot to do. And so you guys got squeezed. And like Thurston was saying, what's so amazing and what I love about Ready and Fire is that this is the environment that the Lord then uses these pressure these pressure projects to bring stuff up that's in our hearts and maybe we're storing in our hearts that actually he wants us to let go of. And I think like your team, like when you guys went through that, you had stuff come up in your hearts and you had to let it go. And you did. Yeah. And now we move forward, So that's why Ready and Fire exists. It's a training ground. And I think even for the listeners to know like that we're not perfect, that we stepping into these things with faith and in obedience, trying our best. And you guys passed the test. So well done.
Even got me thinking, Jam, of like, even the time when we were editing, and like I was like even expressing my heart like with like how I wanted to edit my own way, and then like I edited for hours, and Molly came and he just changed everything, and I was like, hey man. After an all night, he just changed everything, and it's like, okay, cool. At first I felt grumpy. I was like, man, nah, I'm mad at Molly, man. And actually, the Lord worked in my heart. Now, bro, you need to check your heart, because He's also trying to make everything work out together. And it was. I felt so like. What's that word where it's not a grudge, but like, it is a grudge actually. It is. I felt a grudge, and then for a while.
Keenan is dying. Keenan is dying behind me right now.
Okay, you're done. Next panel. I'm joking.
And after that grudge, it's like I was like, okay, cool. I saw the whole edit afterwards when we were watching the movie, and it was actually kind of cool. I was like, your pride, buddy. Like, check it out. Nice. So I know now when like I experience something like this is not like, okay, because like we have to work together, and you can't do like a very nice dish with just like one ingredient, but all the ingredients have to come together to make a very like beautiful dish. And I was like, oh cool, the Lord was cooking in my life. I was like,
Nice. But I think as much as I was complaining earlier, there were definitely good times as well, as much as like this project is now infamous for being whack. Like I think about even like me and Amber have become like 100 times closer, and like we pulled an all-nighter at the base, which sucked. And Tando and Molly were there, and we were all low-key dying. But I still remember, I think at like 4 a.m, me and Luke were like hysterically laughing at like random things. And like that's also just like such fun moments, even in the struggle. So it's also good to know.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, do you guys want to add anything? Should we wrap up? Let's wrap it up. Okay, nice, good job, guys. Thanks. Okay, welcome to our next and final panel. It's so nice to have you here, Nathan.
I'm in proxy.
Luke is back in place of Nathan, who isn't here today. But let's get into it. So this term, obviously, one of the big things I want to talk about is your guys' short film. But before we did that, remember we did some cinematography? You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. Can anyone tell me one or two concepts from the cinematography week?
Shooting down the room.
It was nice to analyze movie scenes and then we in class we would analyze movie scenes and we'd be like, oh, okay, we can see how they did that, shooting into shadow, and then I'd go home and I'd watch a movie and I'd be like, oh, I see what they're doing there. They're shooting into shadow, and it would be kind of cool to just see.
Yeah, and you realize like how much people are doing very simple like framework fundamentals. Yeah. That's so cool. It like makes you realize like okay, obviously there are these huge budget productions, but what we can do on a small budget production can actually follow the same protocol, you know, in how we approach cinematography, which was really cool. Anyone else want to comment on that before we move on?
Yeah, I'd say I've been incorporating a lot of shooting into shadow, shooting out of the room with with some of my personal stuff that I've done for myself, and even for my show reel. I was just working on that, and yeah, I mean, even in my photography, just been incorporating shooting into shadow, because I remember when I was younger, I was taught, no, you have to have the sun behind you and shoot in the light, and I'm like, and then every time I'd be like, this photo looks beans, I wonder why. Yeah, but it's really cool. It adds extra dimension and depth to it.
Nice. And then we had Jess Harrison come and join us for a few days, and she taught you guys some production design and production management. So I'm sure out of all you guys, Sophie probably wants to talk about it the most. But yeah, how was art directing, production design? How was that for you?
I really enjoyed it. I feel like it opened up like a whole new avenue for me in like what I might want to do in the future. I think, yeah, it was a lot of fun just seeing how different movies have incorporated it, and also just I really like enjoyed learning about how working with people comes into it as well. Like it's not just behind the scenes getting the props together, you're also working with the cast, working with the crew, and yeah, sourcing it, like even sourcing props, you have to like interact with people and form connections, and also learning like how to like respect the people you work with, I think. Yeah, and just being creative in that as well. I thought that was a lot of fun, yeah.
That's cool. Maybe Aya, do you want to comment on like Jess? One thing she did really well, she obviously lectured you guys on like art directing, but she also like has a high level of honor. You know, she like honors people really well. And like, what was something you picked up from her in terms of like how you work with like props and how you work with people who help you? Like, what was something you learned that you probably will continue to do when you leave like Ready Empire?
I think first I learned that you have to respect people's things, because connections last long. Like, in a sense, you don't want to burn bridges. If you've worked with somebody, you want them to have enjoyed working with you, that they would work with you again in the future. But I also learned so many things about how you show up in the workplace. I think she spoke about how just because you're not like doing something active in the background, you can't just sit and be on your phone or like, yeah, just be chilling. How you can be ready, like be available if there's need, in a sense. That the little things like your posture, they play a role in like professionalism. So I think I learned a lot of nuggets about, the workplace.
Yeah, so that was such a great time with Jess. After that, we jumped into the actual productions, which we spoke about with the last group. But yeah, I'm keen to hear from you guys. Like, how was that process for you? Obviously, I think like there were challenges, we enjoyed it, and we learned a lot. Yeah, who wants to comment on the short film experience and yeah, what you guys found challenging or what you enjoyed?
Can I start with like before we actually started the project? We had like a small project that we did as a team where we were shooting one of the scenes, and we switched roles, and we did roles that we actually weren't good in. I remember I did cinematography, and it was hardcore. It was so terrible, and like our group felt like there was so much discomfort, and yeah, even going in, I was like just tapped out. And then just remembering sitting down and deciding, okay, we want to do what we're good at, but even then, like, we didn't feel confident in our roles, and then sitting down and encouraging each other and praying, and how like just starting like that changed our project. Like I felt like because we prayed and encouraged each other to like, you're the director, like make decisions, be strong, trust yourself, back yourself. Everybody functioned the way that they should. Like it was like a machine. Like if Sophie's art directing, I'm not bothered thinking about, is this like, she's got it, and she feels confident that she's got it. So yeah, I think that was just incredible.
Great, yeah.
I love that project.
Yeah. How was that for you, Sophie?
I really loved the whole project. It's definitely got to be like one of my favorites so far. I think my group, like as Aya was saying, we all gelled so well together. Everyone had their perfect role, and everyone like worked so hard to like execute it. And yeah, we just came together a lot as a team. Like, you know, if one of us was struggling, like everyone was always keen to help. Yeah, we laughed a lot. And like even when we had struggles getting stuff, like we made solving those problems fun. Yeah, and also like, I mean, we had a comedy, so we could have a lot of fun with it. So there was like transporting chickens, looking after chickens, making props, because I was the art director. That was a lot of fun for me, making all the props. And yeah, and then everyone, as I was saying, everyone was just really good at their roles. Austin was an amazing director. He really carried the team like exceptionally. Yeah, if one of us was struggling, he'd check in and he'd help us. He'd check in if like his decisions, like how they affect us. He'd check in on how they would affect us. Aya was a great producer. She was like on it. She was like on it, like messaging people, sorting things out, and then also helping like me. And Nathan also, he has some great cinematography skills. He was on it, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Nice. Nice. And for you, Austin, your passion project, Crack the Case?
It was a lot of stuff. It was a roller coaster. I mean, I enjoyed it a lot. It was a lot of fun. A lot of challenges for me personally because I'm not used to taking leadership roles. I'm not used to that, getting put in that position. But I really thoroughly enjoyed it because everyone in my team was on board. Everyone cooperated very well. And yeah, it was just smooth sailing from there. And I think for me, what was really the most special was having Ethan over at my place, having sleepovers and everything, like the main actor of the short film. Like throughout the process, I felt like I've grown closer with him because I met up with him last year when I was still in Port Alfred, but it was like very brief, like because he just recently moved. So I think what really like this whole project, even if the film ended up being Beans, I think the fact is that I made a good connection and good friendship with a guy who's really dedicated, really strong in his faith with the Lord and everything. And yeah, who knows? Maybe he might do RAF soon, next year or the year after. Who knows? But it was just a really great experience. So yeah.
That's cool. So yeah, it's just amazing how sometimes these projects, you know, it's like you're doing a project to tick the objective, to tell the story, you know, to do what you need to do. But often, you know, the relational opportunity is huge because you're spending so much time with people and you're spending time in like a pressured environment. So it breaks down people's walls, you know, and you can connect like really well. So yeah, that's super cool. And then also just to note on that short film, really awesome. The announcer, a magazine or a newspaper in Port Alfred picked up the story and they actually put it in the newspaper. So it's just been cool to see like how these stories are like, you know, like getting out there into the world and yeah, really, you know, encouraging guys. And guys can watch like good, clean, innocent, fun content that they can play for their families and not worry, you know. And I think that was really cool.
They also posted it on their Facebook today.
Oh, did they? Wow, awesome. Check out the announcer, Facebook. Luke, maybe you want to chat about your project, Brew? Luke was in the team with Alex and Thurston previously, and they had like quite a tough time, a lot of logistic challenges. But like, what is one thing that you have taken away as a learning that you're going to like, you know, be encouraged by and apply like on the next one? Because term 4 is coming.
Yeah, I think the Lord's just highlighted how I am quite hard on myself, and I think to some degree it's helpful because I think in everything we do we need to hold to a standard of excellency, but I think I bordered more it has to be perfect, and anything short of perfect wasn't good enough. And yeah, I think this project most certainly came out. I was even thinking when I was saying it's a well-oiled machine, like for their project, I was more like, dude, ours was like the Wright brothers plane. Like it flew, but like you're not like bragging about it other than the fact that, you know what, it's the first thing that ever flew. Yeah. And I think like the Lord even helping me view it like that, to be like, man, it was the first time. The chance you'd get it perfect was so low. And it was great that you guys did. It was so awesome that like everything fell into place. And it's honestly like just so good for you guys, and stoked to see what you guys do in the future. But viewing it is like, man, it's okay. We fell short, but it's not about sitting there and now giving up. It's about looking at why we fell short and learning from that and then bettering it next time. So I am excited for the next project to get stuck in, to give it like everything I've got, because one, the bar is set very low, which is great. But then at the other time, it's also then to use it as like the measuring stick of like how much can I learn in just like 2 months. And even be encouraged by that, because I know there'll be a major difference, which is going to be sick, and just be encouraging for me to look at and be like, I am learning. So I'm excited.
That's great. Yeah, I think that's literally why, you guys come and study at Ready and Fire, is to learn. It's not, you don't come and study here to like be perfect. You come and study here to learn, And I think that's such a good attitude, Brew, to have that, even if sometimes there's challenges and things don't go the way we always plan, it's actually like, Lord, what are you doing in my character, in my heart? What do you want to show me? Like, how are we going to do it in a sense again, I think you guys are going to do great. So yeah, keen. Term 4 is coming. Okay, and then guys, we just did 2 more things that I want to quickly talk about. Firstly, I want to talk about After Effects. So we stepped into Adobe After Effects, which is like a motion graphic editing software, and also VFX, like visual effects. And I must admit, I was a bit nervous to open it up with you guys because it is a bit of a scary program to look at. But you guys all loved it, which is awesome. What did you think about After Effects? What projects did you work on? Do you want to continue in it? Yeah, thoughts?
I think for me, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed After Effects. One thing I did struggle with was these visual effects with the explosion. Like, I struggled with that, but I really enjoyed like animations and stuff with the text and with like the Coke cans like falling from the sky and stuff. And I just enjoyed doing that in that aspect, because I enjoy playing around with that stuff on Premiere Pro, like moving the text in fun ways. But I think After Effects open up another door to make it more seamless and more smooth.
Yeah. Nice. Luke, I know you loved After Effects as well.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I think out of the 2, because I think we did like motion graphics and then tracking. I can't remember what the other thing. But tracking, same as Austin, not my cup of tea. But the motion graphics were sick. Like, it was so fun to just see like anything you can think of can happen. It's just realizing how long it takes. Like, it literally is. It's like building a house with sticks and stones. Like, it takes long. But it's also cool to see how like one tiny detail being added that wasn't there before just makes it so much more like together. So excited to sit down on some of the stuff I'd started and just giving it a few extra hours and just seeing the quality of it just skyrocket. Because it does seem like a program that it's literally just an idea that you just pour a lot of time into, which is exciting because I don't mind pouring time into stuff that's fun.
Cool. Nice. And then, do you guys want to say anything?
I think, for me, I would say Ready and Fire in general has grown my right brain, like my creative side, because like it's completely out of my comfort zone. I don't think my brain works like that. Like, I think the one day I couldn't even imagine something. I just felt like I can't realistically imagine something that I could pull off. Sure. But then the little things that I could do, like when Jim would help me, I was so blown away. Like, I'd get excited if my can could spin and like do fancy stuff because I'm like, what? I did it. But yeah, I think I'm really just grateful that I could learn something that otherwise I wouldn't put myself in an environment where I would learn something on After Effects. So I'm so grateful that I got exposed to it and I got to be able to say I made a can spin or like, so I really enjoyed it this week merely because it grew something in my brain. If my brain could get bigger in that area, I'm pretty sure it did.
Cool. Nice. And then Sophie, you were cooking.
Yeah, I at the beginning of the week, I was like, oh, I don't think this is for me. Especially when we had to like make a house explode. I was like, I don't think, because I'd asked like for a lot of help and I was not doing my best. But then more recently, I feel like I've grown a lot in confidence in After Effects. Like when it comes to making like graphics like move, working with like 3D objects. Like it's been so much fun. And it's just fun to fiddle and like feel like I'm making an advert for a company, and just come up with an idea and see it like executed how I imagined it. And also just like experimenting when I'm not sure what, like when I encounter a problem, like problem solving that, and then or coming up with a different solution which is actually better than what I originally imagined, has been a lot of fun. And then also like seeing the finished product and being able to say I made that is really cool. Yeah.
That's cool. And then just to wrap up with you guys, we did quite a lot this term in terms of preparing you guys for the real world. So we looked at CVs, we did professional headshots, we spoke about your show reels and portfolio websites, and then we spoke a lot about professional practice, So we spoke a lot about why are we wanting to work? Are we wanting to work for what we can get out of it, or are we wanting to work for what we can give? And we spent a few days just looking at that, making sure our hearts were in the right place when we talk about the workplace, colleagues, serving in an environment where you have a boss. What was something that you guys took away from just those days, looking at like professional practice and looking even as believers, like how do we walk into the professional world?
Yeah, I think for me it's that when we do work, we have to have that mindset of not what we, like you said, not what we can get out of it, but what we can do for others and how we can serve our boss and everything. So I think it was just eye-opening just to think that, I've seen a lot online where people be like, oh, you must do this to this corporation and try and take advantage of them, try and take advantage of your job or where you're working. Like that's what the world's telling you. But then having that humble mindset of, no, instead of just taking, rather just see what I can give. And even if I can give more than what I've asked of me or help with the reputation, who knows, maybe afterwards you might get a better job. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Anyone else? Aya?
I think, those lectures were quite like hard lessons for me to learn, because then I think the Lord revealed in my own heart how I'd always been like driven to like produce great work, but then I wasn't actually pleasant to work with, and I literally felt like I needed to apologize to the people that worked with me like from the beginning of the year, because I was pretty intense sometimes and not really considering people or like honoring and loving people. And I think I've learned, like Jim said, about going to the workplace and how to serve instead of how to be served. I think I've learned that when I go into the workplace, I want to be a blessing to my boss, but I also want to be a blessing to the people I work with. Like I want to see the person first, and I want to, oh, sorry, I'm getting emotional. I'm trying to get through these words. I want to see the people first, and in a way, like in how I work. Like I still think the Lord wants us to work hard, and I'm not saying we should not work hard and just have chats with people, but I think I want to work hard to the glory of God, and also in how I speak to people, let that point them that I know Jesus. Like the fact that I'm attentive to them, the fact that I'm diligent in my work, that it would point back to the fact that my life has been changed by the Lord, and that would minister to them. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think it's super cool, like to, in a sense, take a moment and get off the cameras, get off the computers, get off the deadlines, and just think about like, actually, what do I believe about work? What do I believe about relationships? Like when I look at Jesus, like how did he walk the earth, like in his relationships, And I think one of the amazing scriptures is like, he didn't come to be served, but to serve, to give up his life, And that's what we want to do ultimately. And I think it's super cool, guys. Like, I can't say it enough. Just for all the future employers out there, guys, these people want to serve, they want to like help. And I think it's just awesome. Like, who doesn't want to work with guys like you, who are in a sense chewing on these things and walking through them. So yeah, well done, guys. Proud of you. All right. Thanks, Austin. So yeah, that's a wrap, guys, for term 3. Tomorrow we're going on a hike, which is going to be amazing. And then we are back in a week's time for the final term, where we're going to do 2 massive final projects, get away for a camp, and then have graduation. So lots to look forward to. Yeah, that's a wrap.